Audio is good. All right, cool. Hello, you guys. What's going on, you guys? Welcome back to the channel. Just wanted to have a little nice sit down, talk to you guys, and just see how you guys are doing. This is just a regular talk. I did not plan this video. I did not wake up in the middle of the. I did not wake up this morning and say I'm gonna make this video idea. So just a heads up for you guys in case I'm ranting, in case I'm just, in case it seems unplanned or unorganized, disorganized. That's why. So I wanted to talk to you guys a little bit about something that I'm always talking about this, whether you're listening to my podcast or whether you're watching my vlogs, or even if you listen to I have one of my original songs in my playlist. If you guys can go to the playlist, you guys know which song I'm probably talking about. But I'm always I'm usually I'm one of those people, I guess you can say, where I'm usually torn between multiple decisions. And I guess to be more specific, in this case, it has to do with being a doctor, being a content creator, trying to juggle multiple roles at once. And yeah, so if you guys can relate to this, is probably the video for you. If you're new to the channel, this is probably the video for you. If you're returning, I'm sure you already know about this, and I talk about it all the time. But yeah, I am studying to hopefully one day become a doctor, and on the side, I'm also doing other things. Like I'm a musician. I like to edit videos. I like to play games. I like to influence. I like to talk and hopefully inspire you guys that are listening. If you guys are listening, I'm speaking to somebody that this can relate to, because I know I'm not the only one that feels like this. I decided to make this video because I just finished watching a movie, Soul. It's a Disney movie, a new Disney movie that came out on Disney Plus. And if you have not seen it yet, I highly recommend that you go see it, because it is really, really good. And it's exactly what people are saying about it. It's really, really good. And that's, if you're in the same boat as me when it comes to, trying to find purpose and trying to, tackle, what is your life purpose? What is your calling? Like, what are you supposed to do? What do you put on this earth for? Then this is a movie that you should definitely watch. And before I get any further into this video, I think you should pause it right now. Make sure you paused. Take a second, go watch that movie. Well, it's not a second. It's more like an hour and a half, 2 hour video, but a movie. But if you haven't seen it yet, go watch it. Come back here. Go watch it. Come back here. Okay. So now hopefully by the time you press the play button again, you've already watched it. So spoiler alert. What was I going with that? So long story short, so I constantly have to think about those kind of things, like what should I do? Should I be a doctor? Should I be a musician? Should I be a mixer? Should I be some kind of songwriter? What should I do? Am I a motivational speaker? What do I do? What's my calling? This movie helped put things into perspective for me, at least, because in this movie, the main character, he's struggling. He's an artist, and long story short, he goes throughout this movie thinking that his life's sole purpose is this single thing. But what ends up happening in this movie is he ends up finding that thing that he's been longing for a long time, and once he gets it, it's quote unquote his life calling. But once he gets it, then he feels empty inside, and it all comes back to the idea of, what are you living for? What is your purpose? What are you trying to do? This is not This is not one of those motivational talks. I just wanted to talk to you guys, and hopefully you guys can give me some kind of input, and some, in the comments you can leave some kind of feedback for me. Let me know how you guys feel about this. But me personally, I've always been torn between the idea that I have to be a doctor, I have to be a musician, I have to be a teacher, I have to be a good son, I have to be a good brother, I have to be a good, I have to be a single title. And to me, I think we like the idea of titling ourselves a single thing. Like, we like to be awarded, like, here's a phone, pretending it's a trophy. Here's a trophy for being the best at this. Here's a trophy for being the world's fastest man or being the world's strongest man. We like the idea of having a trophy because it makes us feel like we have a single point that we finally hit. We found a single goal that we were trying to hit, and we end up hitting it. Goal is the wrong word. I think it's more so like a purpose. We have a purpose that we're trying to hit. We're trying to be the world's strongest man or whatever the case may be, and we finally hit it. But what ends up happening is, shortly after reaching that, life doesn't end there. The world doesn't stop there. Our lives hopefully does not end there, and we still have a lot of living left to do even past that. So that's why I like this movie a lot, because it really puts a lot of that into perspective. But yeah, like I said, I'm torn between the idea that I have to be a doctor, I have to be this, I have to be that, I have to be this, I have to be that. But at the end of the day, well, first off, when you live like that, it's really hard to appreciate what you have around you. Not just because your goal is so difficult and it's going to take a lot of time to get there, but because while you're in the process of trying to reach that goal, you end up missing out on a lot of other steps and a lot of other achievements, a lot of other big milestones, a lot of other life-changing things that happen to you while you're doing these things, while you're trying to get to that goal. If you're trying to be I'm trying to make an example. If you're trying to be the world's fastest man, you don't just jump from slow to, first place. It takes a lot of achievements, small baby steps, and while all that's happening, you might have a lot of other things going for you. If you're a father, you might have achievements for you, like if your son had his first spelling bee and he got first place. That's a big achievement, not just for him, but it also is something that you could celebrate. It's something that you have to take time for yourself, and it's not just about that single goal of becoming the world's fastest man. I don't know if that makes sense. I feel like I went off a little bit, but if you understand what I'm trying to say, then cool. But yeah, I definitely want to this year, especially for 2020, I definitely want to learn to better live in the moment and really appreciate all the different steps, the different milestones that I got to this year. And that's something I want to, not just from 2021, but I want to keep this going for many years in the future, because I don't want to just live for one single thing. For me personally, it's like if I am really, really trying to achieve becoming a doctor, of course, I'd love to become a doctor, but I don't want to necessarily forget about my other side things as well. As I don't want to consider them side things, because they're just as important to me. But I never want to forget about music. I never want to forget about YouTube. I never want to forget about video editing and just talking and putting smiles on you guys' faces. If you guys are, at the end of the day, the stuff that I do on YouTube is I want to put some type of joy and happiness into you guys' lives. And if I'm able to do that, then that makes me feel, 3 times, 4 times. I don't know how. It's hard to explain how amazing it feels when I'm able to make people laugh and make people smile. If people come up to me and tell me their day was a 1 out of 10, and even if it goes from 1 out of 10 to a 2 out of 10, that's a plus. That's a plus in my book. So yeah, becoming a doctor isn't the make or break all for me. I still want to do a lot of other things that I'm passionate about. And hopefully, if you guys are in the same boat as me, you're not just living for one single purpose. You have a bunch of other things that you love to do, and then you wake up in the morning and you just get really excited when you think about doing it. It's hard to say that you're living for a single purpose, but you want to make sure that your life is fulfilled. You want to live a fulfilling life, doing all the things that you want to do without any regrets. Hopefully, as long as it doesn't hurt anybody else in the process. But yeah, you're doing things that you love to do in the process. And, that's what it's about, I think. It's doing things that are challenging and enjoying life at the end of the day. So that's all I wanted to talk to you guys about. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know yet what Mike. I don't know yet what 20 years from now looks like for me, and I don't know what it looks like for you. But hopefully, you know, we can't run around life being fearful for the future. We have to, you know, we have to do what it is that we enjoy, what challenges us, and, you know, just trying to, you know, to appreciate what we have in the moment. You know, appreciate your friends, appreciate your family. Don't let your life, don't let your quote unquote like career, don't let those things get in the way of you enjoying your life. Because at the end of the day, when, you know, when God forbid, you know, when we pass away or something happens to us and we're no longer here, life is going to continue. You know, the world doesn't stop spinning because you're no longer there. So yeah, that's all I really wanted to say. If you guys are in the same boat as me, where you feel kind of conflicted between different career paths, you know, different hobbies, passions, whatever the case may be, if you feel, you know, that you are constantly having to choose between two different options, two different choices, make sure you comment below. Let me know. That way I know I'm not the only one that feels this way, or I'm not the only one that goes through it. Because I know I'm not the only one that goes through it, but I am curious to know what you guys are going through as well, because that is what we do. We like to talk, we like to communicate. So communicate to me, let me know in the comments. And if you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe. That way you know whenever I upload, because that would be awesome. So yeah, I can't think of anything else. I think that is it for this vlogish/rant. And yeah, that is it for this video. Until next time.